Um, Probably, that's better. Okay, anyone probably knows about cognitive decline. If I ask you what you think about it, and it is one of the chronic diseases that I would like to talk about in the next couple of months, because I think we can fight them. Okay, couple of weeks ago, I think Tiani talked about depression, fighting depression with lifestyle. Okay, and Dr. Ray talked about sleep, because we really need that to help improve our health. And now, how can we fight cognitive decline? Every one of us will go through this, and I'm hoping that it's not too late for us yet. Okay, so can we get the next slide, please? Okay, so as GPs, we really fight against chronic diseases, not the highfalutin diseases like HIV or like meningococcal infection, but every single day we see patients with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, depression, anxiety, chronic kidney disease, and dementia. Okay? And unfortunately, we think that these are irreversible diseases, but actually we can avoid or prevent them. Or if not, we can really control them in order for us to just have, like for example, if you look after yourself, after your health, instead of you developing diabetes because it runs in your family at an early age, like I have seen patients with diabetes like on their early 30s, or those who have juvenile diabetes just at an early age of 15, okay? But if you do look after yourself, you can have diabetes just like my father had at the age of 70. And it's now under good control because of a better diet and exercise. So something that we can think about. So next slide, please. So what is dementia? Everyone thinks that dementia is just part of aging, but it's not. I have seen patients dementing at age 50. And it is described as a collection of symptoms that are caused by disorders affecting the brain. Yes, it affects your thinking, your behavior, and your ability to perform everyday tasks. Okay. The brain function is affected enough to interfere with the person's normal social or working life and activities of daily living. So there are those who, we have different kinds of dementia. We can say there's senile dementia because that's part of aging itself, but there are other types of dementia like Alzheimer's, which is the most common one. We have vascular dementia, which is because of a stroke. We have Pick's disease, and so on and so forth. But dementia is the umbrella term for cognitive decline. And it's not just decline in your brain function, but it is also decline in how you function on your day-to-day living. Okay. So next slide, please. Okay. Now, when we do check, and a patient of mine, a family members who report that their father or mother or brother or sister is starting to decline cognitively, we do some tests, okay? We check for their cholesterol or lipids, sugar. There are inflammatory markers because inflammation is very important in dementia. There are also those who are low in certain vitamins and minerals. And then we do some memory tests and cognitive tests. And recently, we also have some gene testing too, okay? So they call it APOE4 gene, okay? So you probably have heard about epigenetics, that it's not that you're destined to be demented at an early age, you can't do anything about it. It's not true, okay? It means that the epigenetic means that if you do something about it now and control the environment, you can switch on and off your genes. Okay. So I have read this article from the Adventist Review from actually an associate professor from Loma Linda University, saying that lifestyle actually can fight dementia. Okay. So let's go through some of this. I know this is not comprehensive because I only have a few minutes with you. We may have a part 2 next time. Okay, but one thing, we really need sunlight. I know I tell my patients, don't go out in the sun too much, but we still need sunlight. Okay, so in summer you need 7 to 10 minutes of sunlight to expose your skin, both upper and lower limbs. That's all you need. But in winter, in spring and autumn, you need about 10-15 minutes. In winter, you need longer than that, about 17 to 20 minutes. That's all you need. You don't need to go out and burn yourself. You need sunlight. God made it for us. Okay? So it says here that those with low vitamin D, which is from sunlight, are 2 times at risk of developing dementia. So if most patients who are from nursing homes really are low in vitamin D, and their cognitive decline really drops, really goes down too quickly. So I tell my patients to family if they can bring them out at least once a week, once a fortnight. But of course, we give some vitamin D supplements for those who are bedridden. Okay. Number 2, sleep. Probably most of us thought that sleep is not important, or we can just sleep again. If we miss sleep today, we can pay for it tomorrow. Actually, it doesn't work that way. And it says here that late bedtime is a cause of hundreds of memory cell loss. Okay, so about 10 o'clock, 10 to 12, that's part where the brain really try to rejuvenate before the REM sleep. So it's really time for us to really consider sleeping earlier, and because every single sleep deprivation is actually a loss of memory cells. Mm-hmm. Okay, exercise on the other hand is associated with higher hippocampal volume. So hippocampus is the part of the brain where you have your memory cells. Okay, so it says there that with exercise, cardiovascular exercise, you actually improve your memory cells. So more sunlight, more exercise, more sleep. Isn't that great? Okay. But diet is the most important thing in fighting dementia. So probably next slide will be, okay. So remember I said a while ago that inflammation is part of cognitive decline. And there are certain foods that are pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory. So what are the pro-inflammatory foods that some of us may still love to eat? Okay, so they are processed meat, processed grains, fructose-rich food. So those that are rich in corn syrup, even some cereals, some snacks that we enjoy are pro-inflammatory. Sweets, pastries, sodas, and even patients of mine who say, Catherine, I don't drink Coke, I just drink Diet Coke. But actually, it's more dangerous than the regular Coke. So I tell them, look, if you have cognitive decline, diabetes, even rheumatoid arthritis, those inflammatory diseases, these foods are not for you. Okay. Now, on the other hand, the Mediterranean diet, I haven't put it there on my slide, but Mediterranean diet is diet rich in green leafy vegetables, more no processed food. The Mediterranean people love to have olive oil and fish. Okay, so it says here that DHA-rich food which is omega-3 fatty acid. I know some of you are vegan, some of you are vegetarian or pescatarian. You don't need to eat fish if it's against your principle, okay? But we're just saying you can try and get some supplements with omega-3 fatty acid, because it says here it can actually reverse the damage made by the fructose-containing food, okay? Heavy alcohol intake is one of the strongest potentially modifiable risk factor in cognitive decline. It actually, how would I say, it actually works like alcohol. Alcohol works like Valium. It depresses your frontal lobe. So you can see that those who have been drinking alcohol has progressive cognitive decline through the years. And it is modifiable. That's why I tell my patients, I know you enjoy that, but your judgment, your thinking, your behavior will be really affected slowly. It actually kills you slowly, the brain cells slowly. So if you have family members or friends, please let them know that it's about time for them to think twice before they take that alcohol again. And one thing that I have recently read is intermittent fasting. So it is really, really something that we can all try. One intermittent fasting may be for 8 hours. Others can be like 6 hours. The Dr. Mosley recommends 16 hours. So, wow, rain, yay. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings. Okay, if 16 hours is I think doable, 8 hours doable. There are those who have long intermittent fasting, which even reverse aging about 72 hours. I haven't tried that yet, okay? But they're saying that is amazing how your brain, not just your brain, but your cells try to regenerate after while fasting, okay? So it says there it actually inhibits the damage of your brain and the stress it undergoes with inflammatory, because of the inflammation it's been going through. So I think the next slide is just last words, things to ponder upon. Who is responsible for your health? Not your husband, not your wife, not your friends, nor your children, but you, okay? And the goal is not to normalize, but to optimize your health. It's something that we are responsible for, because God gave you one life, one body, take care of it. Okay? And if you're serious about reaching your full potential, then you've got to be serious about your lifestyle. It's not just drugs. And my patients can attest to that. I always say, look, drugs are there. God made that for us. But it's your day-to-day activity. It's the way you live, your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your attitude makes more sense and gives more impact on your health. Okay, that's why diet and exercise actually can affect how our genes function. Okay, and the brain can regenerate. Okay, if we take the right approach to achieve it. So I hope you have learned some wisdom, and I think it's about time for us not just to look after our physical health, but more so our brain function, okay? So thank you very much, and I think I would like to close with one verse. That's the next slide. And it's found in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God didn't give us a spirit of fear. Every one of us fear to have dementia in the future. But he gave us the power. He gave us love, and he gave us self-control. So may we keep that in mind, and I hope you'll have a blessed Sabbath today. Thank you.